with our lights, we got our 3 clearance lights up top. We got it colored amber, and red. We've got our strobe light on the top, and then we've got our turn signal / hazard over here on the side. Make sure they're all clear, no cracks, no breaks, no obstructions or condensation. They'll be checked during the light check. Then we're going to check all our passenger windows, making sure they're all clear, no cracks, no breaks, no legal stickers or obstructions. We're checking our 2 emergency exits, making sure that they're legible and labeled, and make sure they have the reflective tape around them. Then we're going to move down and we're going to check our belt line. We're making sure that it is not peeling or damaged and it's a good reflective surface. Then we're going to check our bottom reflectors. We got amber colored one and a red colored one. Then we're going to check our fuel door, making sure that it opens and closes. Make sure the cap's present. I know it's tethered on the inside. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to check our DEF door, making sure that it opens and closes smoothly. Checking the cap, it's present and it's tethered. Then we're going to check our passenger cargo compartments. Oh, we're going to make sure that it opens all the way. We're going to make sure that it latches properly. Oh. There we go. Make sure that it holds. All right, then make sure that it goes back down. Okay, and close it. All right, we're gonna come back here behind the rear tires and look under the bus, and we're gonna check the frame, making sure it has no cracks, bends, welds, or aftermarket modifications, that all bolts present and tight. Check the drive shaft, make sure it's secured properly to the transmission and the rear differential. It's got no cracks, bends, welds, or aftermarket modifications. Make sure the U-joints are in good condition. They're greased items, so excess grease is okay. We're checking the catch loops, which you can see around the drive shaft. Make sure that they have no cracks, bends, welds, or aftermarket modifications, and they're secure with bolts present and tight. We're going to check the exhaust, making sure that it's securely mounted with its hangers. All the exhaust clamps are present and tight, and there's no indication of a leak like rust or carbon soot. We're going to come over here, and we're going to look under here, and we're going to check the leaf springs. We're going to make sure that they're securely mounted, all bolts present and tight. Show that no cracks, bends, twists, welds, or aftermarket modifications. And they're properly stacked with their spacers and connected to the axle with its U-bolt. Checking the hangers, both sides, making sure that they are secured to the frame of the bus, all bolts present and tight. And making sure they're secured to the leaf springs with their fasteners, all bolts present and tight. Then we're going to come over here. We're going to check our hydraulic shock, making sure it's secured to the frame and the axle, bolts present and tight. It's a hydraulic shock, so again, we're making sure there's no leaks. Checking our airbag, making sure it's secured to the frame of the bus, making sure there's no leaks, which would be indicated by a hiss. So, of course, making sure they're properly inflated. Alright, then just kind of taking a peek under. We're going to go over the air brake components in the rear, which is basically the same as in the front. We're checking the brake line and hoses, making sure they got no damage like cracks, cuts, or chafing. Make sure all the fittings are secure. No leaks, they would be indicated by a hiss. Checking our brake canisters, make sure they're securely mounted, all bolts present and tight. Again, no leaks, which would be indicated by a hiss. We're going to check our safety clamps. There's 2 back here, making sure they got no bends or twists, no damage, and they're secured with their bolts. We're checking our push rod right there. It's making sure it's securely mounted to the slack adjuster with its pins and cotter keys. And we're checking our slack adjuster, making sure it's secured properly to the S-cam and the push rod. That's a grease item, so excess grease again is okay. Then we're going to tilt inside the tires. Well, I guess you can kind of see it that direction. We're checking our brake pads, making sure there's no less than a 1/4 inch of pad, no metal contact. You can check the pads from the viewports. Then we're checking our brake drums, make sure there's no cracks, bends, welds, or aftermarket modifications. There's no contaminants such as debris, oil, or grease, and no bluing due to drum overheat. Now we're working our way outwards towards the tires. We're checking between the tires, which is the duals. Make sure they're evenly spaced, no objects or obstructions. We're checking the tire tread in the back. That's can't be less than 2/32 of an inch. The rear tires can be retreaded. The left and right tire must match, and they should be evenly worn. Again, making sure no damage like cuts or gouges. Then we're moving out to the sidewall to make sure no damage like cuts or gouges. Checking for the specifications for inflation back here. Then we're moving into the rim, making sure that there's no cracked spins, welds, or aftermarket modifications, no wallowing of the holes, no separation between it and the tire due to underinflation. Then we're gonna check our valve stem, make sure it's present, good condition, and the cap is present. We're checking on our lug nuts, making sure they're all secure and in good condition. Then we're checking our axle seal, making sure it is in good condition with all the mounting bolts present and tight and no signs of an active leak. We're gonna go back here and check our mud flap, making sure it's in good condition, no damage, secured to the bus, and no more than 8 inches from the bottom of the flap to the ground. Alright, now we're gonna work our way to the back of the bus. We're gonna start at the top. We're gonna start with our lights. We've got our 3 red clearance lights. We got our red and amber loading lights. We've got our hazard turn signal lights. We've got our brake lights. We've got our reverse lights, and we've got our tail lights, and we got our tag lights. We're making sure that they're all clean, clear, no cracks, no breaks, no illegal stickers or obstructions. And they will be tested during the light test. Then we're going to check our school bus logo, making sure that it is legible and not damaged or peeling and on a reflective surface. Then we're going to check our rear windows, making sure they're clean, clear, no cracks, no breaks, no illegal stickers or obstruction. Then we're going to check our door. First, we're going to make sure that the emergency door is, you can see that it's an emergency door that's legible. We'll make sure there's reflective tape all the way around it and around the windows. Then we're going to open the door, making sure that it opens all the way, latches, and closes. Alright, then we're going to move down. We're checking our bumper, making sure it is secured to the bus, all bolts present and tight. Dents and welds are okay. Cracks would make it unserviceable. We're checking our tailpipe, making sure it's in good condition, making sure that it is not inset, but making sure that it's at least flush or 3 inches out from the bumper. Alright, moving on to our unique items on the driver's side. We got our stop signs. We're checking the lenses to make sure they are not cracked or broken. We're making sure that our stop signs are on a reflective surface and are legible, not peeling or damaged. We're gonna come over here, we're gonna check our fuse panel, make sure the door opens and closes smoothly. We're making sure that all the fuses are in good condition. We're making sure there's no electrical arcs or any burning from any of the wires. We're gonna check our battery compartment, make sure the door opens and closes smoothly. We're making sure that our safety pin is in place. There's no corrosion, everything's plugged in and secure. Then we're gonna check our wiring harness, make sure everything's plugged in, no signs of any electrical arcs or burning. And the last thing you want to check that's unique on this side is driver's window, making sure it's clean, clear, no cracks, no breaks, no legal stickers or obstructions. And that completes the unique items over here.